way the wind is blowing," Nancy cut in before the cousins began to argue over which was a better weather checker, the internet or the radio. "Just bring your kites and be there at 9 o'clock. While they were having dessert, Bess asked, "Did you hear about the brown and white speckled pony Ms. Waters found in her garden yesterday?" George's short brown hair bobbed up and down when she laughed. "My mom said she saw Ms. Waters running down the street in her nightgown, waving her arms and shouting about how the pony was eating her flowers." "The whole idea cracks me up," Bess exclaimed. "I mean, she's the librarian. She's always saying, 'shh,' and telling us to be quiet. It's hard to imagine her running down the street screaming. My ribs hurt from laughing every time I think about it." "Ms. Waters sure does love her garden," Nancy giggled. She tucked a strand of her shoulder-length reddish hair behind her ear. "I heard that the day before yesterday, Mr. Geffington found the same pony standing outside the post office. It was eating a bush," Nancy added. She took a sip of milk. "And before that, on Tuesday, the pony was discovered at the movies." "Was it eating popcorn?" George snickered at the thought of the pony having a snack. "Nah," Bess put in. "It was munching leaves off that big sycamore tree in front of the theater." "That's one hungry pony," George commented. "Does anyone know who it belongs to?" George's eyes lit up as she considered that there might be a mystery to solve. "Buttons is Mr. Johnson's Shetland pony," a voice said from behind Nancy. The girls turned to see Stacy Quinn headed their way. Stacy was in Mrs. Bailey's third-grade class at River Heights Elementary. Stacy's long brown hair swung as she walked. "I couldn't help but overhear," Stacy continued as she sat down with the three friends at the lunch table. "You guys are talking pretty loudly." Nancy grinned widely as a question popped into her head. "How do you know the pony's name?" Stacy reached into the back pocket of her jeans and pulled out a picture. She handed it to Nancy. "See," she said, pointing at herself in the photograph. "That's me standing next to Buttons." In the picture, Nancy saw Stacy wearing a t-shirt that said "Horse Crazy." She had her hair pulled back and tied with a floppy bow. Her arm was wrapped around a small pony. The pony was a little shorter than Stacy. Nancy handed the picture to Bess as Stacy went on. "Ponies are amazing animals. I know all about them. But Shetland ponies are the best kind. When I heard there was one at the new petting zoo just outside town, I begged my mom to take me there. Shetland ponies are small. Even when they're grown up, they stay little. I love Shetland ponies." Bess gave the photo to George so she could look at the pony. It had a flowing mane and a bushy tail. Stacy was holding an apple in the picture and smiling like she'd never been so happy in her life. "All week, I've been working as a volunteer at Johnson's petting zoo," Stacy shared. "Mr. Johnson lets me come after school. I brush Button's mane and feed him apples." "Like in the picture?" George asked, handing the photo back to Stacy. Stacy took the photo and said, "Yeah, Buttons always acts like he's hungry. Mr. Johnson only lets me give him one apple a day, but I bet he'd eat more. If Buttons was my pony, I'd give him all the apples he ever wanted." Sighing, Stacy put the photo back in her pocket. "Buttons keeps escaping from the petting zoo. I think he's looking for food." She went on to explain, "There's an apple tree in my front yard, but Buttons hasn't found it yet. He's too busy eating other people's bushes and gardens. But someday soon, Buttons will discover my tree. When he does, I won't call Mr. Johnson to pick him up. I'll just keep Buttons. He's a great pony. I wish he was mine." Then, without waiting for Nancy or the other girls to ask her any more questions, Stacy